In this next song, you must march around the room. Here we go.
I know what the fuck I'm doing. Just sit down in the chair.
Until it's time to do Carhartt shit.
Especially pink Carhartt.
Whoa, you got
Baby pink
neck
Carhartt.
neck levels. So we're back. Welcome back to another episode of the Murph and Mitise show. Third episode in one night because we are having beverages. And not just because of that, because we also, this is the third episode that we've done and probably the third week in a row that we've released this one. The context around us having a few drinks and talking about what we want to talk about now is that it allows us a little bit of leeway and let's say vulnerability in to speak about the things that we've been speaking about, because it's not like what we've been doing before. You know what I mean? And I can see you smiling. Why are you smiling?
I'm waiting to see where this goes because I don't know what you're talking about yet.
I know. So we haven't really given context around why we're having some drinks and chatting and whatever. Like, yes, we got some free time. Cool. Saturday night, we could be doing a myriad of other things.
I could be watching shit on TV and going to bed early,
which you would normally do.
I like to do. I work hard during the week. I like to go to bed early on the weekend. Gone are the days of getting drunk.
That's right. Except when we're filming episodes.
But we're like, this is nowhere near drunk. No. What we're doing is we are
loosening up the lips.
Relaxing.
The heart lips.
Exactly. We're loosening the heart lips. Exactly what we're doing.
I love that.
That is a fantastic. I'm so glad I came up with that.
When you said that, I was just like, yeah, that's it.
That's going to be a thing for a while, I think.
You know what? And I'm going to bring it into reality. I'm going to bring it into clients in the gym. I'm bringing it into friends and family, loved ones. Right? Loosen up your heart lips. Your lips are a little bit tight right now.
I really like it. Now that we've brought it in again, I really like it.
Yeah. I know you did. And when you said it, I saw that glint in your eye. I was like, did you pick it up? I loved it. All right. So what I want to go with now, this episode number 3, I want to read you a message that I was sent.
Ooh.
All right.
This is new.
And I haven't done this before. And I have a lot of conversation. Like, it's not like you see me on the gram at the gym and then I just go home and do nothing. And then I'm back at the gram in the gym and then I go home and do nothing.
There's a lot of other stuff that we do besides just gram and podcasts. We talk a lot amongst ourselves and clients.
Far too much, right? Far too much. But it leads to these conversations. And I'm going to read you a message that I was sent. I'm not going to tell you who it was from. Right? Stop trying to look. And it was in relation to another message I was sent, which was a very long message in response to a story I put out. Now, the story was about fear, as we've alluded to at one of these previous podcasts. Mm-hmm. So it was about fear. What do you fear? Blah, blah, blah. And I put up the tattoo of my arm, which says, Nihil temendum est, which translates to fear nothing. Now, I got a response to that talking about someone's fears and what their fears were and why they had them. And the response that came through wasn't what I would call general or generic or kind of, face value fear, right? The fear that came through was, I am terrified of feeling contentment and joy because something may snatch it away.
Ah.
Right?
Yeah.
Let's go deep.
Yeah.
So that was part of the message. Anyway.
I've heard of the fear of success.
Uh-huh.
And
fear of contentment and joy.
Which is along the same lines, right? Uh-huh. Really? Yes.
Right. So fear of positivity leads you to negativity, blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
Now, I wrote back, where do you think this all comes from?
Can you give us some context of not who the person is? Give us context of the person in general. Are they an athlete? Are they
no,
male, female, older, younger?
This is. I'm not going to give you male or female. I'm not going to give you gender. I'm not going to give you age. No, I'm just going to say this is a thinker. Mm-hmm. This is someone who is in tune with their emotions and is continuing to learn about themselves. Who is already in a field that is extremely understanding of the emotional state and psychological state of their the people they work with, right?
Cool.
So this is from someone who I also highly respect.
Cool.
Okay. So that's the context you'll get, right? And so I wrote back, where do you think this all comes from? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Where do you think this fear of contentment and joy comes from? Because to me, I was like, it's not this, is it you're terrified of feeling contentment and joy?
It doesn't make sense at first,
It doesn't make sense.
Like, why would you fear joy?
Exactly.
Contentment, I can appreciate contentment.
As in, like, you're talking contentment as in, like, just being comfortable?
Yeah. Because I don't like being comfortable. Like,
yeah.
Because it means you're just status quo again.
Yeah.
The joy.
But this is contentment and joy because something may snatch it away.
Yeah.
Right? I'm fearful of attaining this, not because of this, but because something may take this away.
It's that whole plus minus thing.
Correct.
If you get this, means something else is going to go away.
Yeah. And it rocked me a little bit. I've been boxing a bit lately, right? And it was kind of like a right straight to the face.
Just, a little like jab to the nose and like you sort of
not even a jab. It's like a right cross, like punch me in the face. I was like,
serious.
this is someone who I would be like, like what you tell me is gospel. And it still is. It still is, honestly. And so I was like, where do you think this all comes from? This fear, and I want to understand a bit more about how you think about things and why you think about it this way, because I have no idea. That's the only question I would ask. How did this develop, maybe, or why do you feel this has occurred? I want to understand more about what this person thinks, so then I can kind of understand how I think. And I got 2 messages in return, and I'll give you one of them. And it was very interesting. And I would like to hear you vibe out on the next part, or what I'm going to say.
I like to vibe out.
I know you do. Saturday Murph is the best Murph. Where do you think this all comes from? I'm interested to hear your thoughts. Very much so. Right? This was the response I got. I think it stems from a fear of vulnerability. To experience true joy, contentment, and wholeheartedness in its purest form does come with being in the moment and being able to embrace the uncertainty or the unknown future. But if you fear the future, uncertainty, and the unknown, then you always have your armor on, always needing to be prepared and vigilant, which ends up stealing joy. Joy and indescribable happiness opens people up to the fact that this can be taken away. I lost my fucking mind.
That is huge. This is a very intelligent person.
Yeah.
Whether they're formally intelligent or not, doesn't
you mean
matter.
Like formally educated?
Educated or not, it doesn't matter. This is a very intelligent person.
Yep.
So there's a philosopher I like to listen to. Alan Watts. I'm sure many people have heard of this dude before, and he tells a little story about I don't remember the exact details, so this is going to be pretty raw, but I think it's something along the lines of a samurai or a fighting school, and it's this guy walking around, and you need to be aware of me coming to hit you with a sword. And this basically, this guy was walking around all the time, like around every corner, like, oh my God, he could be around here. Oh my God, if he could be around here. Oh my God, if he could be around here. And he's so hyper aware of the things that could happen that he forgets to think, he's unable to react to the things that do happen. So even though he's so hyper aware of this guy could be around the corner ready to hit him with a sword, he's unaware of the guy that could be behind him about to hit him with a sword. And when I heard that story, this is so many years ago, I can't remember now, so many years ago, that struck me so strongly. I'm like, you know what, you can't be too focused on what could happen. You need to be able to respond to what does happen. Do you like that one?
Loved it.
I think you need, like, this person's obviously so worried about the potential of things that could be happening. If I'm succeeding in this and this is doing well, and oh my God, this is great, and oh my God, this is fantastic, and I love my life at the moment. Oh shit, but that means that something could go wrong at some point. Well, something is going to go wrong at some point. Like there's no way everything is going to be perfect all the time. As I said before, it's that whole plus minus. There's always going to be a balance in life. There's always a balance. That's human nature. That's environment. That's psychology. I don't know what else to call it. That's just normal. That is a balance. So if something good's going to happen, there's something else that's going to happen, and it might not necessarily be bad, but something's going to be taken away. If you want to be successful in your career, the minus is going to be your time. You're going to have to put time in, therefore you're going to lose time somewhere else. If you want a really cool car, the minus is going to be your dollars. You know, you got to put money into your car, therefore you're going to lose your dollars. There's always going to be a plus minus of some sort. If you want to put effort into your relationship, there's going to be a minus in maybe your career or your health or something. Who knows what it's going to be, but there's going to be a plus minus everywhere. And if you start to worry about or start to preemptively perceive what's going to happen that's in a bad way, you're going to forget to enjoy what's going to happen in a good way.
Sort of pause for emphasis. Now, do you want to take it deeper?
Let's go.
Okay, so now this is a person who is very aware of these psychological triggers and these psychological backgrounds of
ASMR
of the occurrences and I was going to her and not her and their understanding of what that is, right? So you've given a very good response.
Thank you.
To the general public.
Yes.
Now let's go deeper, right? So for this background, the idea is, okay, where does this come from? I am hyper aware this is occurring. I am hyper aware that I am fearing joy. I am fearing, I'm not fearing joy. I'm fearing that if I attain joy and contentment, it's going to be taken away from me. Right?
Yes.
Now, the next layer, as we discussed 2 episodes ago.
Yes, I know where this is going.
Is the attachment theory, and is what has happened to you and what have you been involved in, what have you been a part of that has facilitated and encouraged this response from you.
And do I deserve it?
Yeah.
Yes.
And understanding the problem, not just the symptom. The symptom is fear of contentment, joy, because of such and such. Because I fear that it's going to be taken away from me. But where'd that come from? Where did that come from that you have learnt behaviors you've learned behaviors to protect yourself? Because as you mentioned in the last episode, we either go for fear or away from pain. We go towards pleasure or away from pain, right? And so in this instance, we're looking at, are we looking at you're moving away from some type of pain, or you're working towards some type of pleasure? Now, I'd be inclined to say maybe you're trying to work away from some type of pain. You know, the pain of having something and attaining something and then it being taken away from you. That's the pain. The pain is it's been taken away from you, right? So then when we want to go those layers deeper, as we mentioned, is like, where does that come from? Because that's the question we have to ask. Because if you can understand where that has come from, you can take steps to change that, I believe, right? And part of what I was going to write back to the comment that I got on one of my stories I put up about fear, I got a question that was like, what is one of your fears? Or what do you fear currently, right? And I actually written back, before I took it down, and said, fear is a product of ignorance.
What's the acronym of fear? Have you heard of that?
Fuck everything and rebel.
That's
a Josh one. That's a Josh one.
I've heard that one.
Made up just then.
False experience appearing real.
That's right.
So if fear is generally something that you've made up in your head. that hasn't actually happened yet, or it's something based on something that's happened previously that again hasn't repeated itself.
Or in this instance, I'm also going to provide you another avenue, or it's something that has happened, right? That you have been unconsciously
Or taught.
subjected to. No, not even taught. Taught is the way I believe taught is a conscious awareness. I've been taught this. I've been taught that. All right. As a child, as you know, up to the age of about 7 years old, we're in alpha state learning. Right? So we take on board things that occur to us and happen to us and around us.
Yep.
Right? Now, as I have been told and as I have been taught, the attachment styles that we have can start from 11 months old, right? Now, 11 months old, you're not consciously aware of shit.
No.
You don't even know what your arm is, right? Maybe you do. I don't know.
No,
Right?
you do.
You do.
You do.
Now, the question is then, is this a conscious learned behavior, or is this something that has happened to us in a time that we were unconsciously a part of the earth, right? Or as part of the universe, right? Yeah, I'm going to blow you shit right out the water.
Okay.
Right? So there's a point in time that you cannot remember past backwards, right? And there's a point in time where your memories start to, formulate a little bit quicker, a little bit more accurate, right? Before that time that you cannot remember, shit happened to you, right? At the same rate as shit was happening to you right now. You can't remember that.
Correct.
So his unconscious absorption and unconscious experience has now manifested as a output of what your relationships and what your thoughts and what your feelings and what your triggers and what your behaviors are right now.
So you're saying this person has that
I'm not saying anything about this person.
potentially.
Because this person knows a fuck ton more than I know about any of this type of stuff. And as goes on there in their message,
out there are going through this, and
that's
it
what
could
I'm saying.
be okay.
So what this person said, they said, I'm working through this. I understand this from the stuff that I'm working with, blah, blah, blah. A lot more depth and
picked
detail.
this up and gone, these are the reasons. This is what I'm feeling. These are the reasons it could be going through my head. Okay, now I get it.
So
but
what
now
I'm
we're
saying,
portraying it to the rest of the crowd saying...
What I'm saying to all the peeps like us right now who are like... I was like, blown my mind. I read this and I was like... It's like a
made
Friday
you think
morning.
about yourself.
God damn, right?
Yeah, too early.
Literally made me think about myself.
Yeah.
And literally on top of everything that I've been like mentioned, Sarah and Alicia and attachment styles and all this stuff previously, right? It made me think about that. What stuff or what feelings, because it's not a conscious thought process, what feelings do I have about my childhood? What feelings do I have about my growth patterns? Where am I at in regards to this type of development or this type of emotional connection or this type of attachment to allow me to be in this place right now? What do I have when I'm talking to my friend, right? And my friend talks back to me. And I get a little bit like, ooh, I didn't like that. Why didn't I like that?
Yeah.
Take it deeper. Not just I didn't like what you said, but that must have hit a trigger for me.
Yep.
Or that made me feel a certain way. And it's that whole thing about understanding what that feeling is. What did I feel? I felt sadness when you said this to me. I felt anger when you said this to me. Why did I feel that anger? Why did I feel that sadness at that point in time from what you said? Because you have no idea about my background. Me and you are conversing in real time right now.
Yep.
But I've got I got 32 years of experiences that I've put in my
try
brain.
And push themselves through to the front of your brain. So this is one thing that I've been talking about with a couple of people, actually more than a couple of people recently. And it's the thing I say is you need to be able to respond, don't react. So when something happens to you that it's maybe shocking or maybe something you don't quite expect, and it takes you back a little bit, you need to learn how to respond to it. Don't just react to it. Mm-hmm. And the response comes through, like I said before in a previous episode, is your emotional intelligence. Reaction comes from your past experience. So when you say something, if someone says something to you and you've gone, oh, you know what, fuck you, that's a reaction to something they've said. When someone says something to you and you go, hang on a sec, you know what, that I don't like the way I felt. What can I do about that? How can I deal with this? You know what? Let's talk about this a bit further. That's a response to something. We had that. Like,
I was about to bring that up.
Right.
I was literally about to.
If you want to bring it up, you can bring it up. But that was me not reacting to something, because I'll let you talk about it a bit more. But that was me not reacting to it, because I had to sit back and think, what else could be going on? That's not a normal reaction for the person I'm talking to. You. What else could be going on? How can I respond to this in a much different, more diplomatic, more what's
empathetic?
The word? That's the word I'm looking for. Exactly what I'm looking for. What's the way I can respond to this in a much more empathetic way that we can both have a conversation about it and move on past it? And that's pretty much what I've been trying to coach people through and get people to realize is, again, I'll say it again, how to respond to something and not react to something. Don't react, respond.
And that was that situation we had, which was the ACL episode, which went bonkers, right?
Yep.
Afterwards, right? You know, we talked about this before the episode.
Yep.
You know, mic's off, we chat, you know, and I'm going to go into it deeper because I listened to the episode again after we put it out, get our numbers up. After put it out, I listened to the episode again and I didn't do it justice, but at the time it was raw, right?
Yep.
For the emotional side of things that we want to go into, right? And now, what had happened? I think if you comfortable with me talking about it,
Yeah, go for it.
yeah. So what had happened is that in the gym, I had said a couple of things to you, different comments or different remarks that I had made that had made you feel a certain way.
Yep.
Right. And you came to me that day and you said, "Hey, man."
It was a little bit longer than the day.
Well, no, sorry.
But yeah.
On the ACL day,
Yep,
on the day we filmed
Correct,
it.
yes.
On the day we filmed it, you came to me and you said, "Hey, how are you doing?" That was your first question. How are you doing? And I was like, it's fucking weird, but I'm okay. But there are some things that have occurred for me right now. Why do you ask? Right? Because I didn't want to go into how I was feeling.
Yep.
Right? I had no idea where this was going. And you've come back and said, well, there's a few things that you've said to me recently that I didn't like and that made me feel a certain way. And these were the things that you've said. And this is how I felt with them. And I wanted to understand why that was the case, because this is not typical you. And I'm trying to understand why you may have said those things.
Correct.
Right? I can look at you getting all awkward and shit. Love it. You know, and I, at that point, because I had no idea what I had said or how things had affected you. And you've come to me and said this. And at that point, my first reaction was what? What did I say?
Well, you apologized.
I apologized straight away. I said, I am sorry for making you feel that way. Thank you for talking to me about it, because if you didn't talk to me about it, it would have been this weird thing. And then you said, exactly, I don't want to be that way.
Yep.
You know, and that acknowledgement from the start, like there was nothing else I want to do for you than to make you feel comfortable with me. Right? And so there's nothing else to say except I'm sorry. I absolutely am sorry from the bottom of my heart. That's how I feel.
Yep.
Right? And let us talk about this and then move on. You know? And we've moved on.
Of course.
And we fucking dropped some sick episodes.
Here we are.
Right? But that was challenging. You know, that was challenging.
It was. I mean, for me, again, it was that whole thing of the reaction and response sort of thing, where at the time it happened, I'm like, in my head, the first thing that went through my head was, you know, fuck you.
Fuck you, Tom.
Fuck you, Tom. Previous episode. And it was, but I didn't say it. I'm not that kind of person that would say that. And I did take it back and went, you know what, just leave. It was my time to leave anyway from the gym. I finished with my clients. And then just sit back and analyze sort of what has happened. And I built a response. And that's how I came to you. And it's funny because I was talking to my partner about it. And she said, you know, what are you going to do? And I said, well, I'm going to talk to him. And she said, isn't that going to be uncomfortable?
Yeah.
I said, well, yes.
Yeah, it is.
It will, because this has never happened before. And because of that, it's never happened before. I know this is not normal, and I know there's something going on. But yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable, but it needs to happen. And this is the whole emotional human connection where you need to go through these uncomfortable moments to build the connection. And whether it's just between two mates who run a podcast and work together, who are also just good mates, whether it's between two best friends, between two lovers, whatever
partners, right?
Whatever it might, just between two human beings, there's always going to be some sort of uncomfortable moment that you need to get through, but it's only going to be for the better. If you can get through it, and if you're both intelligent enough to get through it, it's only going to be for the better. And that's what I figured out is, you know what, rather than just holding on to it or reacting, let's respond and get through it. And we're here. Most people don't want to have the uncomfortable conversation. Because it's uncomfortable as fuck. And I didn't enjoy it.
It's awkward as fuck.
It's not enjoyable.
Not at all. And
even
you know what?
when you know it's going to happen.
Like, I enjoyed it afterwards because of what it represented and symbolized for us.
Of course. Yes.
Right.
And everyone's going to, doesn't matter who you are, you will enjoy it after the fact. But no matter who you are, you won't enjoy it in the fact. It's not a fun conversation to have. But the benefits you'll get from it afterwards, you know, you're going to reap the rewards.
And this right here is where I want to go. No, I got nothing to say to you. Like, we good. we chilling. I wanted to talk more. I wanted to express more about feelings of uncomfortable, being uncomfortable, being comfortable having uncomfortable conversations.
Yes.
Because
I love that. Being comfortable, being uncomfortable. I've always loved that.
Yeah. You know, and you know I love that, right? And so the quicker you can move past the uncomfortable, right? So for us, we had that chat, literally 5 minutes later, turn on the microphones, film the episode, bam, we on, right? Yeah. And I think for me, it feels really important to have those conversations. And I feel like there's a lot of, from people in my circles, right? I can talk to people in my circles, talking about, oh yeah, I'm actually really comfortable being uncomfortable. And I'm like, no, you're not.
Are you really?
No, you're not. Ask the question, right? And for those listening now, and those watching now, I ask you, right? I ask you right now, and who in your life do you need to have an uncomfortable conversation with that you are avoiding right now? Because it is happening. It is happening. And
majority of people need to face something.
Have at least one person or one situation, whether it's work or family or personal or friends, a situation that they are ignoring or they are putting to the side or they're not addressing that takes up mental space in your brain that does not allow you to move forward from where you want to be because you don't actually feel comfortable having that uncomfortable conversation, right? We sat here uncomfortable for maybe 10 minutes.
If that.
Right?
Yep.
I was uncomfortable. You were uncomfortable. We moved through it.
Yep.
Right? And right now, we've just filmed 6 back-to-back episodes. Right? We fucking vibing. Right?
I think, just quickly on that, it also helps that, I don't know how to say this perfectly, but it also helps the fact that I know, I trust that you're going to help me through this.
Okay.
I think one thing that would scare a lot of people is the reaction of other people.
Yes.
Whereas I know that you're intelligent enough to not react and respond to me.
And I also think that, just to add to that, because that's really important, to understand and to feel comfortable the other person has your best interest at heart, right? You know, when you come to me and say something, I'm not going to be like, the fuck you, Murph.
Yep.
I don't care about your feelings.
Yep.
Deal with shit, right? You know, when you come to me that I'm going to understand how you're feeling and
yep.
oh, sorry, maybe not understand how you're feeling, but have your interest at heart when you tell me something, right?
Yep.
And I think this is where the last couple of episodes we talked about feeling like feeling,
Yep.
you know, expressing how you actually feel and telling me you feel frustrated, sad, you know, this big, you know, whatever that's going to be, right? You tell me how you feel. As a human, I can't avoid that, right? That's what do you mean? Like, that's like a blinking light. I can't miss that. If you tell me what you're feeling like, I feel like this,
Then
I can kind of put a blinker on
you
and be
can
like,
interpret it
I
differently,
can interpret
right?
it differently,
Yeah.
right? You say, Josh, I feel sad when you say this.
Yeah. You know what sad is.
I know what sad
Yeah.
is as a fellow human.
You interpret it in every way you feel sad.
Exactly.
Whereas if you go, I feel like I'm sad, you'd be like,
I can
what
interpret that.
kind of like are you feeling?
Exactly. You know, and you're not actually getting to the point of the conversation, and you're not actually getting to the uncomfortable part. Like, I do not like hearing you're sad or you're angry or you're feeling some type of negative emotion that brings your energy down. I do not like that. But I know that if I've made you feel that way, I have to sit in that myself. And I have to be in that place myself that I made Murph feel this way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, how do I respond? Am I going to react? Or am I going to respond? Am I going to sit there and be like, I apologize. I'm sorry for this. Let's move through that. And I think, as we were talking about, every single person listening has someone that they will need to have that conversation with. Right? In the last year, I would probably count 15 people on
I've had a few.
different areas.
I've had a few.
Right? And it's whatever is presenting for you at that time. You know, I talked to one of my clients earlier, and she was talking about, you know, she was talking about the moon energy. I'm down with that. Right?
Moon energy?
The moon energy.
Moon,
We've had 2 eclipses and the blood moon
My
and whatever.
cousins are all about that.
All on that shit. And she's like, you know, this is like a clearing energy. And, you know, clear some space and do this stuff. Right?
Put those crystals out.
Put those crystals out.
Energize those crystals.
That every fucking table and coffee table and chair, put them out.
Yep.
Right? And she was talking about that. And she was talking about it in a way that, you know, maybe this means I need to have some conversations with some people. You know, this is clearing a space, right? However you wish to visualize it or to understand it in your way, I think it is super important to work out. And you don't even need to work out. Just, you know who that
Have a
person is.
conversation.
Have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know, have a conversation and move forward from that. You know, and are there conversations that I still need to have? Yeah.
Or not move forward.
Or not first. Have the conversation and realize that, okay, cool, we're in a different space now. We move on.
Yeah.
In our own
move
way.
forward or move on. That's the big thing.
Yeah.
Because not everyone's, like, as I said in a
Move
previous
forward
episode.
together
Yep.
or move forward individually.
Do it again.
Move forward together or move forward individually.
Damn straight.
And are there those conversations I still need to have? Absolutely. But they're never going to end.
No.
The day I die, they ain't going to end.
No.
I mean,
Or
like-
the day you die, they are going to end.
No, the day I die, after I die, they will end. Before then, they ain't going to end.
They're always going to happen till the day you die.
Uh-huh.
There's going to be these conversations you need to have to keep moving forward, progressing in your life. That's just the way it is. That's being a human.
And we come from understanding now. We come from a perspective of legacy. Me and you.
Mm.
We come from a perspective of legacy, of growth, of continuing the human race better. Right?
Yeah.
That's where we come from.
Damn straight.
And so...
We're just not strength coaches.
No, we ain't just strength coaches. We're talking some shit, right? That's where we're going, you know. And if that's not your value and your idea isn't into growing life, that's fine, right? And growing human consciousness, that's fine, right? There's a conversation you need to have with a friend or a family member that's going to help you process your life better, right? Whatever that is. And I think that's the message from this episode. I
love it. This was a very cool episode.
You glad we did it?
Yeah, I'm
I'm
very
so
glad
glad we did
I'm
it.
very glad we did it.
Until next time, Murph and Mitise.